Hello everyone, welcome to my channel, Kindred Souls of Brooklyn. And folks, tonight you're in for a real treat. You know, in 1953, Walt Disney made a secret trip, a secret visit to, of all places, Coney Island, Brooklyn. And if you guys remember your history, he didn't buy Disneyland until 1954. So guess what? Walt came to Brooklyn to get ideas on what to put into his theme park. Stay tuned. I hope you're going to enjoy this video. It's a fantastic video. Two things I love is Brooklyn and Disney. So stay tuned for an awesome story that's really true. I hope you enjoy it. Right here is the only known picture of Walt in Coney Island. He's actually at Luna Park with a famous actor who was in a movie in 1953. It was a Disney movie, and the name of the actor was Richard Todd. I'm bursting at the seams to do this video. And folks, I'd never want to say that anyone's an expert at Disney, but I just want to say that I totally love Disney. I've worked for the company for 8 years. I'm not working for them currently, but I do a podcast. I'm a co-host on this fantastic podcast called Monorail Tales, and we just talk Disney. It's actually the 21st most popular podcast in about Disney, and you can just go to monorailtales.com and you could listen to it. But I've worked a lot of roles for Disney. I've worked Dream Squad. I was a monorail pilot. I've worked for the Disney store in Manhattan, the Times Square. I was a leader over there. So I'm just going to put up a couple pictures here, and then I'm going to get to this cool video because I just can't believe I just found this out myself, and I'm just totally going wild over this. All righty, here we go. So this is my hometown, Brooklyn, Coney Island. Been there many times. So you'd wonder, why would Walt Disney come here in 1953 secretly with the actor? Well, the answer, folks, is that Walt Disney was always interested in theme parks for a long, long time. And as it turns out, even though Coney Island in 1953 was a shadow kind of what it was at the turn of the century and in the 20s and 30s, this was later what was called the Disneyland of its day, because this was the Nickel Empire. This was the number one place. And even though it was closed half the year because of colder weather in New York City and Brooklyn area, 25 million people a year came to Coney Island. And Walt Disney wanted to find out why, and he wanted to find out how he could make his park even better. So Walt Disney embarked on a secret trip over to Coney Island, and he actually learned a lot. And not all of it was great. Not all of it was fantastic in a sense, because when Walt went there, like I said, it was in a lot of disrepair. Some of the workers were not the best in terms of attitude. So a lot of what Walt gleaned from Coney Island actually impacted him very, very much. So I want to show you some video of my favorite Disney resort. It's the Wilderness Lodge. And I know it's one that Walt Disney would have loved. But I want to talk about Walt just for a second before I continue on the video. And I want to just say how much I think he was such an awesome person. I mean, I've had so many opportunities working for the company. It's been the best years of my life. There was nothing like bringing my son there and walking up Main Street and all the enjoyment that we had there over the years. And Walt was a person who was all in. I've tried to emulate him. We lost my son, and we run a foundation, so I try to emulate some of Walt's ideas in the foundation. And I love the fact that Walt was all in. He was a regular kind of person. He was very personable with all the people around the park. And I think his trip to Coney Island it was kind of like a come to Jesus moment, if you will, because he saw what could happen if people stopped saying hello, if people stopped calling their customers, if they started calling them customers and didn't call them guests, then the disrepair and the unhappiness, it was clear as to what could happen. So I think going to Brooklyn for Walt was one of the best things for him, and probably the best things for all of us, because, Coney Island is a wonderful place. I've been there many, many times, and don't get the impression that it's so horrible and so terrible, but it's just a very real place. It's not Disney. It's not a place that's covered in theming. It was comprised of 3 different theme parks. The owners have come and gone a lot of times, and there's a lot of change there. There's a lot of change at Disney too, but they kind of remain faithful to Walt's vision. And I think that's where you find the vision. So it's no judgment. I love my native Brooklyn. And then, man, nothing like eating a hot dog at Nathan's over there and riding the roller coaster, the Cyclone. But I really think that was an important step for Walt, was coming to Brooklyn. And, you know, a lot of us think, who work for the company, we consider Walt Disney World, you know, the Magic Kingdom especially, we consider it Walt's second child. And Walt did so much stuff. I mean, Disneyland was his first child, obviously, and he took the ideas that he saw in Coney Island and he made them even better. But when it came to Walt Disney World, I mean, Walt never stepped foot in Walt Disney World, but he sure mapped it out in his head, and he sure got the wheels going. And, you know, a guy who doesn't get much credit is Roy Disney. Roy Disney was the one who made sure that the park at Florida was named Walt Disney World. It's not. So I couldn't do a video without showing the park where I spent 5 years of my life, the Magic Kingdom. And talking about Walt, I found some quotes here that I'll put up, and just stories about when he went to New York and saw Coney Island. And, you know, but Walt was a guy like me. He wears his heart on his sleeve. And I think when you do that, if you read these quotes and see what he was saying, you would kind of look like someone who was defeated. But I think Walt, and I understand it well, was kind of like he would go in there and he'd kind of be mesmerized, and he would just feel bad, and then he would go back and he would kind of have a resolution after that. I think that's how you tend to be when you're an artist, or you're that type. And Lord knows I'm not an artist, but I definitely, like I said, wear my heart on my sleeve, and I'll say, oh my God, how am I going to do this kind of thing? You know, how am I going to, you know, I'll do certain things with the foundation that we're working on now, which is a thing we do for my son, and we give out musical instruments, and we're having an event April 22nd, and I'll be like, oh, well, how am I going to do that? And then I'll just go away, and then inspirational. I hope you guys enjoyed that video. Like I said, I can't tell you how much I love Disney and Walt. So I think the goal is, and I think you guys know, we run a foundation, and we had lost my son in 2019. And I think the theme of life is to keep moving forward. So I found this little clip that I want to end this video on. It's very inspirational. It shows Walt. It's only like a minute and a half, but I thought it was a great way to end the video and talk about what everyone's goal should be in life is to move forward no matter what happens. And heaven knows it's hard. I got to pull myself out of bed most days, and but I do it, and I do it because I think that's what Matt would want me to do. So enjoy this clip, and please subscribe, folks. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please give me a shout out, and like I said, if you want to tune into that podcast, it would be great. And most of all, folks, just stay safe out there. Enjoy this clip, and I love you guys, and I'll see you in the next video.
The motion picture set is probably the most expendable part of filmmaking. As soon as we're finished with the set, our crews tear it apart, start building new ones for our next picture.
I think if Walt Disney were here today, he would really embrace the change. Walt was not necessarily sentimental or nostalgic. He was always looking forward, looking ahead. What can I do next?
I like to come and see the legends and see their hands here, you know, so that there's a sense of we know where we came from and we honor that. We were surrounded by geniuses, you know, really very talented people. But everybody here was creative, so nobody made too big a show of it.
Yeah, we grew up around excellence.
Yeah.
One of the differences between then and now was that somehow Walt seemed to be everywhere.
Frank. Frank.
Oh, hey.
Wait a minute. Get the idea first. The theme is...
He'd still go home at a reasonable hour, but somehow he would get to every spot on the lot once